calling in from today. Well, thank you, first of all, for joining. We have an exciting hour ahead of us, and I wanted to go ahead and get started. But before we did that, I wanted to let everybody know that we will be recording this feature. So if you have any questions, absolutely go ahead and submit it through the Q&A. Heather on our team is going to be looking at those questions that you have submitted and maybe stop me as I'm going through so I can go ahead and answer those. Otherwise, we'll have a question and answer session at the end. So again, I wanted to welcome everybody. We have some exciting news. We just got fresh off a visit out in Seattle, met a bunch of people out there, got to really meet some folks that we've met for a long, long time, and also to get to see some new faces out there. And additionally, we were able to follow up on a few of the new features, and we're going to talk about 4 of those today. So just want to make sure everyone is on, and it sounds like people can hear us. I went off and pinged a couple people. So I want to go ahead and just make sure that our recording is started. And we'll go ahead and get started. Wonderful. Well, again, good morning, folks. Good afternoon, good evening. We have a web series here, and the first one is going to be, what is the recently announced future of Microsoft PPM? And there are a few things that are going to be really exciting here that you might have heard that are coming down the pipe. Well, for introduction purposes, typically in a setting, I'd go around the room, we'd stand up, we'd do a little something, and then I would figure out a little bit about you. Well, since this is a webcast, who's speaking and who's the voice on the other end of the line? My name is Jacques Goupil. For those that I don't know, I look forward to getting to know you. Go ahead and join my LinkedIn or reach out to me. We work with Microsoft on a direct basis. We are PPM Works, and we do project online, project server migrations, but really give back to the community. So leave our badge at the door and really trying to give to the community a little bit of our knowledge. And we do that on weekly sessions. You're going to be seeing some great sessions that we have coming up here. On a side note, I love to travel with my family, really enjoy being active and volunteering. Now, we'll get a little bit more about who we are later, but those exciting sessions that we're talking about, this is a series of 4. And we are going to look at resource and capacity planning next Tuesday. I'll be here with you. Then we're going to get into portfolio management. Now, this is a hot topic in and around, and there are some new things that are coming that may be announced, and hopefully by that time. And if they aren't, we're going to still talk to you about the richness of portfolio management. Followed by your dashboards. Now, today, we're going to see a great dashboard that's coming with the tool, meaning Project Online. We'll also be dancing around some of our report packs, but this session on the 28th is going to get you into Power BI. You'll have from now and then to play with some things, but if you have any questions or you know folks on your team, go ahead and send this off, take a screenshot, or reach out to Heather at our team at info@PPM Works, and we'll be sure to get a hold of you. Really quickly, just one more slide. We have a bunch of other webcasts that are coming up. You can see the schedule here, but again, anything that you want to take a listen to, go off and check our schedule. And if you don't see it here, reach out to us. We'll get something done directly for you and your team. All right, so what are we doing today? We want to make sure that you understand and heard what's coming out, but also get to be able to see it. Now, why do I say get to see it? The release schedule here is coming out to those folks that are on Project Online. So if you're in that boat and you have your virtual hand raised as a Project Online user, this will be rolling out to you, all of these in subsequent waves. Now, if you're not on Project Online, you're just in a watch mode right now. And if you'd like to get to Project Online and even want to do a trial, again, reach out to us, and we have a whole team that will help you with that. So what are we going to talk about? Project Agile. This is really cool. Microsoft Project introducing Agile embedded within the tool. And I pause there because it is a distinguishing fact from what they had in the past. We had Agile templates and things like that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to spend a lot of time on that and then get into the integration with Planner. Now, some of you might say Planner, not really sure what that is. Microsoft has a lot of tool sets with Office 365 and really giving you the ability to be productive with the entire Office 365 suite. So we're going to talk about a couple of those today. One happens to be Planner and the other happens to be Teams, and how right now in this changing atmosphere of getting work done, what are the areas and what are those mechanisms to help you and your team? And again, folks, it does not have to be the same for every group within your team. So if you have an organization that's currently doing something, even in a competitor situation, the old Satya method here is, that's fine. Let's get everybody working together and getting work done. And you're going to see that Microsoft spans not only its own core products, but also reaches out to some of those others. We're going to show the Power BI dashboard, and I can't get excited enough about this. There's a lot of great things in here. I'm going to walk you step by step so you can see everything that's there. I'll also pull up the existing one so you can see some great information that's there. So you actually have two of them, plus any report packs you get from vendors like us or others that are out there. All right, so you might be looking down at your watch saying, gosh, that's a lot of things to get done, and I'd agree. So I am going to move at a fast clip. I get excited, so hopefully I'll slow down my speech here and just make sure that we're getting everything and we're grasping what's going on. But I want to give some time for questions. That's more important. That's really what those pauses are going to be for. So like any good webcast, call to action. So what do you need to do? Reach out to us. There's that information. If you like what you see, or you think somebody else on your team wants to see this recording and you want to dig a little deeper, we got you covered. Reach out to us. We'll sit down with you virtually or together and do discovery sessions. We got teams ready to go, ready to help you with this. And there's even more things coming down the pipe. Just yesterday, I think it was Monday, potentially maybe Sunday, this new ability for staffing hubs. So there's a lot of things that are coming out. We are taking a look at all of these great tools and working with vendors and clients alike to see what the easiest path is for work execution. And it's different for each organization. So just because you see something today doesn't mean that's the path you need to go down. Let us help you out and drive those sessions. And lastly, this is PDU eligible. So reach out to us, get that PDU code, and go ahead and submit those. So for some folks that don't know Project Online, there are some core key benefits, and some of you folks that already have Project Online, you might say, sure, I got a few of those. But bullet number 3 is where we're going to be focusing on today, and really making sure that you understand how to do the Agile projects. Does that fit your organization? Does it fit a portion of your organization? And if anything, if you have questions or want to give feedback, Microsoft and PPM Works have open arms to get all the feedback, to bring it right back. We just sat with the product and marketing teams last Thursday and Friday. They want to get this information out. They want to make this better. So any recommendations that we have, that you have, let's get them through. You're going to see that Project Online is evergreen. What does that mean? Here we go. We got 4 new features that come off. Agile, it's going to roll out to you and to your organization. So the IT folks don't need to do anything. It will be there. Now with that comes change management. And it's one key that our great team does, is sit down and understand and work with you. How do you roll that out within your organization? How does that communication happen at your organization? So again, people process tools. We're showing you some tools here, but let's keep the people happy and keep the process simple. So the first thing we're going to get into is Agile. And with Project Agile, when you log into Project Professional, and we'll do this together, is you'll actually be able to see a completely different feel and look all around Agile and Scrum mentality. And what is my sprint and sprint boards? Will take some time. I will click through some of these, again, using data, demo data. We'll also be able to take a look at how does this work with waterfall projects and making sure that can you do both? Can you have a waterfall and a hybrid project? And the answer, as you folks know, is going to be yes, you can do both of those. And then we're going to get into Planner, and we're going to talk about what the integration looks like from Planner, again, Project Professional, getting into plans. So taking a task in a plan, and here you can see marketing, and making it a plan, okay, and sorry, linking it to a planner plan, and we're going to show you how you do that. Next, we're going to talk about the dashboard and get into there and really make sure that we go through that in detail. I might switch up the dashboard and do that second so we make sure we cover that, and then maybe get into Planner. And then lastly, talking about teams and how to integrate and feel that you have one and only one complete area for all things that you do throughout the workday. Okay, so let's hop over. I'm going to go ahead and switch to Microsoft Project. And when I go off and do that, I want to bring you into Project Online first. So now that you see Project Online, you have the richness of Project Online, all the tiles, the tool set. You're not going to see and feel a lot at this home page. And that's first a question that a lot of people had. You can create tiles, and a lot of us have done that. We can go ahead and do that. And I'll show you another area where we've done some of this. But all this, again, it's going to look and feel the same. When you go over to Project Center, okay, right now, we've created some views for some Agile things. And again, just different views that we're taking a look at our list. Where this starts playing and where you start seeing this information is either over in Agile Teams, okay, or in the tool set itself, meaning Microsoft Project Professional. So let's go over and switch to Microsoft Project Professional. And what I'm going to do first is just walk you through what you're going to see. So what I did is I went to File New, and I went into my templates. And now what you're going to see is, along with all of our other featured templates and everything that's online, is the first three. And they put it right in the front, and I thank them for that. So we have our Scrum, we have Kanban board, and then we have our typical, what everyone's normal, which was File New Waterfall project. But we do have the three. So we're getting into the thought process of, wow, if we have the three, can we blend the three, and what can we do? I'll go into a demo of this, but I just wanted you to see this. I go ahead and create a new task. Let me just close this for a second. Basic Scrum, all I did is start creating. This is how it's going to look for users. I come in here and I say, whatever it wants to be, right? Create a guided tour, whatever it happens to be. You folks get this. I start hammering in new task 1, new task 2. We're going to get into a little more detail. It starts queuing up like this. If I come in here now, I can get a lot of information on this task right from here. I can assign resources. I can mark % complete. I can even go ahead and drag this information and back and forth. But let's go over to our Gantt chart in this case. If I go back to my Gantt chart, you can see that all these are just in a typical Gantt chart. Well, what I've done here is I've taken the liberty and just started populating some of this information, and it's in a Gantt chart in this case, and I can see that on my right hand side. Now, two things that we can do. Now, what you can see, if I go over here right now and go ahead and take a look at my Kanban board, what I'll see here is, first of all, let me point out up top, okay? I now have this Agile tool set, and if I go back over to my Agile tool set in my ribbon, and I also have my formatting cat, I can start to see different views. I can see a planning, okay, which is my sprint boards. I can see everything, which is going to be my Gantt chart here, okay, for everything that happens to be Agile. Well, you got me curious now. You said everything that happens to be Agile. Well, there's two things. Let's take a look. Create demo environment. Well, let's say that could be more of an agile task, but this training here, I don't want that to be agile, okay? So right now, if I left this as is, and I went back and just started creating my board here, okay, and just started rifling in, putting all my tasks, they're all going to show up here. Well, maybe I don't want that, okay? And specifically for all this training stuff. Well, what you can do is you can actually go in here and go into my task information, and I can find this information and go down to this level. But I'm going to do it a little easier. I'm going to go back, okay, to that Gantt chart in two ways. First, let's right-click here and show my view bar. What I like what they did here is they did view bar. Since it's an Agile project that we created, they've made and put all my quick reference. Now, for those that sit in our courses for this quick view here, these are what we want to use. You want to keep this nice and clean. And I can see my backlog sheet and all this great stuff. I have my Gantt chart. That's where I'm going to head off to. And what I wanted to do is follow up here. I don't want my training as Agile. There are going to be butts and seats. People are going to be there, and we're going to have sessions. So what's that going to do? Well, this is a really cool ability. I could go through my entire WBS. You can take existing WBSs that you folks have out there and create them in this Agile fashion and then go through. So what we just did with a click of a button here is we made a hybrid project, right? So we now have our Gantt chart field with Agile projects, dropping back and over and taking a look at our board as well, and taking a look at our task board. We also have our sprint boards. So let's go ahead and set these up as well. In our sprints and for our Agile sprints, you can go in here and not only change the length, but you also can go in here and change the names of all these. So you could have, sprint go live, sprint, etc. Everything in your naming convention that you're doing, you can change those. A couple other things I'll just pop up here is you can switch back and forth your methodology, okay? So if we're switching from that iterative incremental framework, as we know of Scrum and or your Agile methodology that most of us think about, or you have this Kanban scheduling, okay? And again, this is what Microsoft is starting us off with, okay? And then if you had your waterfall, let's try that again. Your waterfall, it's going to be your none. So they're giving you the power of changing a lot of this information. Now, going back to our Gantt chart for one quick second, all of this rich information is still going to be in there. Now, one thing that we have heard of is going in here and saying, okay, we want to see some other information around our Agile and our Agile sprints. Well, within here, you can see that there is some information that you can pull out, like your board status, and you can figure out where this is. Is it in our backlog? Is it next up, in progress, all this stuff done? So what happens when we go in here and we take a look at some of this? Well, let me get back to my Kanban board here and switch us back to our task board. And let's move a couple of these things. So we have our next up. There we go. And we have some other things here. Our website form, let's say that's in progress. And then we have done. And I saw a funny thing that Jackie did here was done and then actually done. And, we hear this all the time. It was kind of silly, but it actually got me thinking, okay, our website form is done. Well, is it really done? Is it marked 100% complete? Has it really been completed? Okay, now it's actually done. And you can actually produce some workflow or some bots that move this from log to log here. So the richness that Microsoft's providing here at an Agile form is really nice. So let's take a look at some of this. We have our our backboard that you can see here. You have your backlog sheet. So that's going to be everything that's on our backlog here. We also have our current sprint board. Now, what we had is sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint, okay? This happens to be our current sprint. You saw that you could have multiple sprints there, okay? And you could set all those tasks to the sprint number, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So you're switching back and forth to your different sprints. Very flexible, very easy to use. Again, what we're doing here is looking at the ability within the tool set. Okay, so what we wanted to show you is the Agile tool set to be able to open up and start a project right from this. Going open and actually opening up, you can open up a waterfall project too. So if I was to go ahead and just grab one of these, and folks, I'm just going to go ahead and grab something that has a bunch of data. And let's just go ahead and open this marketing one. Typically a waterfall project, right, to say the most. And what I can do now is I can do similar things here. I can still do that insert. I can still put my Agile in, okay? I can make these things Agile. I can do everything that you've done in the past before, okay? All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look real quick at our Q&A, see if there are any questions and answers there that need to be done. Questions. I don't see the Agile capability. Okay, great. Like we said at the top of the hour, this capability right here with the file new is going to be rolled out with Project Online, first of all. So you have to have Project Online, and you also have to be in the roll sequence. So what I mean by that is it's rolling out. So maybe your tenant hasn't been rolled out before. If you have any additional questions there, just reach out to us. Perfect. All right, so the next on our area is we want to go into Planner as well as Power BI dashboards. Okay, let's hop over to Planner. All right, why don't we just use the same one, actually. So if I go ahead and use, which one am I on? New Agile features. Okay, we have a bunch of tasks here, and I can see that I marked some done. And I want to use this Planner integration over here. So up top right-hand corner, I'm hitting the Planner. What you're going to know, it says link to existing Planner. We do have some lessons learned here. Your project needs to be published, okay, for this to work, which sort of makes sense, okay? And what I'll do now is I will go off and link this to Planner. Now, what it's saying is Office 365 group, what plan is it in? Well, if you're not sure, you can actually go off to Planner. Okay. Oh, whoops, sorry, that's my Teams. Go off to Planner and figure it out. So Planner, how do you get there and what is it? From our waffle, okay, you can go down here and select your Planner icon right here. And what that was going to do, it'll launch you into this. If you have plans or Office 365 groups, what you can actually do is connect some of these things. And if you have any questions there, we'll be sure to answer them. Right now in my environment, I have marketing, I have operations, I have sales support. Let's go ahead and just jump into marketing here and open this up. So as you see, it's another board for task management. And in here, what we like to call this here is more of a less formal, less, task one needs to be done before task two, that project centric, ooh, gosh, I need a Gantt chart. I need to have, a project mentality. No, you can come in here, you can start creating things, you can drag and drop, you can change your buckets, rename all this stuff. We're not going to do a full Planner demo here, but I wanted to just go off here and take a look. So we have our marketing plan that we're going to go ahead and link. So how do we go ahead and do this? Let's go back to Microsoft Project, Professional. We hit our Planner button. We come here. What group do we want? Remember I said Office 365 groups can be linked into Planner. So I start typing, it goes off and finds that group that we're looking for. Again, a dynamic search. I'm in my Office 365 environment. I have obviously my project online linked in there to that same Office 365 tenant. Now it's going to go off and look at Planner within that same environment. And I can start to see it says, hey, the following people will be added to the marketing group, and go ahead and create that link. So what am I doing? I have a task here, marketing activities, a bucket potential of all my tasks. That's all I want to know in Microsoft Project Professional. Just at a high level, that's all I want to do, okay? And let's see if it's actually publishing here. What it's going to go ahead and do is it's going to publish that off and bring me over into my plan. So now that you actually have a link between Microsoft Project and Planner, you'll be able to see some of those updates and actually update your task status as well and get that information up to Microsoft Project. Now, pausing here, you can have multiple plans, meaning a planner, multiple plans into your Microsoft Project schedule. And how it links again is from a scheduled task to a planner plan. All right. I repeat that because I know I typically get questions in and around what can you integrate, what the integration looks like, and how it works. Today, I want to share some of this knowledge with you, but also get out there and use it. Okay. If it's not working how you want it to work, ask us questions. Go through this together. Okay. So once you have your plan linked here, you can pass this information over. Now, the first thing first I like is the helpfulness of Microsoft. Where we click on it, it tells you what you need to do. I just gave you that tip. Project and task must be published, okay, for this to work. Great. You go into your next step. You take a look at what you want to do, and it tells you the task owner becomes the plan owner, okay? And that plan owner, okay, will then see task assignment and status updates for these, okay? So that's what you need to do. What is a task owner? It's going to be the owner right here. And we need to make sure that that owner is in there, okay? So that's what you need to do to make this work. All right, folks. We're cruising along. Let me take a look, see if there's any questions on Project to Planner. All right. Not new to Planner, not sure really what it does and what it's good for. Great. Microsoft Planner, again, is a tool with Office 365 that's good for teams that don't necessarily want the rigor, okay, of a Microsoft project environment, or simply put, maybe our project manager doesn't want to manage the details of all that. Imagine what I'd have to do for marketing activities to try to mirror this. Update blog section, update this, additional tasks, and our marketing team is moving this stuff all over the place quickly and easy and finishing and adding and doing different things. Marketing group, they like the look and feel. They like to have a tile view, okay? They like to be able to get in here and put some information and make some labels, okay? They want that interaction, that UI, that look and feel. Over here, project manager, we don't really necessarily, do I dare say, care? No, we do care. But let them manage how they want to manage. As long as we're getting the status updates and everything that we're getting for that task. Because what we're going to do here is we might make this dependent on our next activity. And that goes back to the quintessential question for a project manager about work package. So what is a work package level and what does it include? And then Also, what you want to go ahead and do for your dependencies on those tasks. Okay, so those two things. All right. Let's continue on here and take a look at our Power BI dashboard. So Power BI dashboard. First things first, you need to link Microsoft Project Online into Power BI. So there's a series of steps. We actually have a bunch of those that you can do. You can take a look at one of our, if it's not already recorded out there, I believe it is, but you can go back and take a look at that. So when you go ahead and look at your recording, what you're going to see is the ability to connect Power BI to your Project Online information. And when you do that, you'll have a couple things. You can go off to this Get Data down here in the left-hand corner, and you can start pulling in information from your organization, from services, or potentially just from an export of file information. Now, what we've done is we've provided some report packs, and for those others, you can actually go out and grab this information and grab the old Power BI dashboard, and you should be able to soon grab the new Power BI dashboard right here from the services information. And if you go off and you look at project, okay, search for project, here we go with our Project Online information, and you can go ahead and sync this up into your Power BI dashboard. All right, so now that we've gone ahead and did that, let's just jump into one of our Power BI dashboards here. And I'm going to start with the one that we just talked about, which is a report pack. So we're getting this data, and you connect it to one of your Project Online environments here. And what we've done is we've gone out. So very simply, very quickly, I can see what most organizations want to see, right? What's the count? How many resources do we have? What are our active risks and issues? Where are the problems within our organization? Well, problems usually surface in and around cost, in and around resource utilization or availability, okay? And also my issues and risks. So what we can do is we can actually drill into this information and start to see. Well, I'm a big picture kind of guy. I like to start in the beginning. Portfolio overview. We can see that there's some projects that are split out to here. I can also see some milestones that are coming up, okay? And then, I can change and add some of these if I want to as well. But with Power BI, I actually can get some of this information directly from Power BI. And if I just start typing in a project, let's say, and get my project name, I can ask intuitively questions. And here it pops up, okay, a bunch of project information. My mouse is going a little crazy here. A bunch of project information. I can see actual cost, etc. And I can see project by. I'll show you an example of this in one quick second. So heading into our portfolio overview, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now we get drilled into all these rich reports that are behind our dashboard. Now I could literally spend an hour plus just on reporting, Power BI, dashboards, etc. But let's just go ahead and take a really quick overview of what we're seeing here. We have some dynamic drop-downs, so I can go ahead and say, no, just show me the IT area. I can say by project type, by owner. Again, all of this is built for us, okay? If you don't have governance phases, okay, it's just not going to pull these up. It will still show you some of this information, okay? And that's where a lot of folks jump in. We heard before, and we've tackled this issue with a lot of our clients is, hey, can you help me create some KPIs? Absolutely. Not only can we do that, but right now you're going to get some with the report pack that come in here. So we can actually see some costs, some work, some schedule health. If you want to know how those are calculated, again, you can reach out to us, or you can actually create your own calculated versions of these KPIs. Portfolio timeline. We hear about this time and time again. Show me a timeline, right? So I can actually drag and drop this if I wanted to by just bringing in my timeline. Literally, these are, I can actually drag this thing in and I just see, maybe we only want to look at a certain subset of projects. When I'm doing that, I'm actually reducing the number of our total projects. It would be the same as if I did this slider, as if I went up here and did a filter in this case and said, all right, show me everything in IT, okay? And off it goes and shows me just the projects in IT. Awesome. And then if you're drilling in to some of these projects, I can go and see that rich information as well. But before we get into the weeds, let's keep going. In interest of time, I got a couple more things we need to show. So we have some cost information, right? I hear the oohs and the ahs from the audience. I can see all of our coloration, things that haven't been baseline, has it not been baseline. We have some milestone views that people like to go ahead and take a look at. Again, across all of our projects, right? What are coming up in the next, and what did we complete here in the last 30 days? Risks and issues, everybody likes these sections. Let's start to see some things. Hey, what if we can calculate a risk exposure in our organization and show you a value of that? So if we're delayed, right, lengthy bugs, etc., things are happening. What is the cost if we don't resolve these risks and remedy them? As a risk, it hasn't occurred yet. So what is the probable cost? I'll back up there of those risks. Issues here. Now I got it. Issues, things that have occurred. Now we need to take care of them, okay? And really drive those through. Just like Power BI, I want to see all of my active tasks. Click right on it. It's a subset here. I can go off and subscribe to any of these information here. I can also go out and pop this thing out to Excel and other things that we want to take a look at right within this tool set. Getting into resources, the next 4 or 5, we have resource availability, resource overview, and then resource assignments. And I switched on these two because a lot of people like to take a look at, hey, I know the tool set resource center, and I know all those and I like them, but I just need something that's a little more click and easy and filter, and I can just drive into it. If I want to see something, well, here's your answer, folks, for you. Same information, different slice of that, okay? So I can drill right into either my resource here, okay, or my group right from here. Resource detail, resource forecast, showing you a bunch. Again, oops, we have a resource here with not a lot of information. So let's go off and grab our project manager and now have way too much information, but you folks get the point. You can see that that information again is by our resource here and seeing that. Demand forecast, we use this a lot, folks. Gosh, service industry, want to make sure that we're providing the best services to our organization and to our clients. Do we have enough folks on this great team to staff those projects? But also, our sales team keeps cranking things and showing it. So that's what it's going to be right here. The last two, status and risk. So this is one of those new features that's out there. Go ahead, open it up, click on it, and get to know it. There's a lot of great tools out there. Now, the other one was Microsoft Project. Again, if you go out there and you see something like this, that is the older Power BI tool set. It is very good, and you can get a lot of great information. We recommend for our clients to use both. They both have some good information. Here's a compliance report. I typically use this right when we upload and migrate a project, or sorry, an organization over to Project Online. Take a look at this and really get into this level of information. So again, the two that you're going to see, I'll back up, is this view here, which is the older Power BI, and getting into the newer one, which is called Project Online, is going to have a look and feel of something like this. Now we've made some tweaks here, but folks, overall, it's going to look the same. Great. Taking a look at some question and answers here. I think I've answered that question already. Yes, this rolls out. How do you get this? First of all, you need Power BI. and that is separate, okay? And then secondly, you go off and you attach this to your Project Online environment through the Git data. All right. Let's jump into our last section, which was the teams and what is teams and what's it all about. Keeping our same theme of what we did is we created a project. We actually created a hybrid project with Agile methodology in there as well as Waterfall. And then what we did is we linked a task, meaning marketing activities, into a planner plan. And we wanted to say, oh, great, now that we did that, is there another area that part of our organization could use on a day-to-day basis? Now, if you haven't heard, Teams is coming through. It's the new rage, if you will. A lot of folks are using it, and aptly so. It's a very nice central area for all things called activity. So it embeds our conversations. We have files that are uploaded directly through here. We have our wiki, okay, that we can run through. And folks, just like we had back in our planner, we can upload and connect to our planner so we can see all of our planner tasks. So we don't need to go to planner, right? We don't need to do this. All we need to do is open up our Teams and get that information. And with our planner to project integration, what we do over here is going to be pushed back up to Microsoft Project. Documents, OneNotes, and even some of our marketing folks use external tools. You can go in here and very quickly within Teams, go ahead and link into maybe some of those existing tool sets that you already use today. Now, the business case, and that's really the discussion here, is when do I use what and where? We hear this a lot. We actually did a webcast on this. We went into detail about all of them. You know, when you should be using Microsoft Project, when and Project Online. When is it best to use, or the samples, scenarios to use Planner? When do we use groups? And I would say now more teams here to be leveraged. There are different scenarios for all of them. We walk through 3 different scenarios in that recorded webcast. And if you'd like to get more detail on that, again, you know, please go ahead and reach out to us at info@PPM Works, and we can get you either this information or any of those other recorded sessions. I know we have a few questions that are coming in. I'm going to give you time to go ahead and post those questions. We'll make sure that we answer all those. But as a call to action, again, circling back, what we wanted to show you is, you know, Agile, Power BI dashboards, the planner to project, I should say, project to planner integration, and then all the business productivity that we get from Office 365. And there is going to be some more announcements that come out, like the Staffing Hub and a few others. Go ahead and get registered for those PDUs. And for everybody on the recording, just wanted to wrap up with our series again. Make sure if you're interested in any of these, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or over the lunch hour Central Time, we're going to be covering some demos. So just lock your calendar to that, and we will be joining you remotely. On a one-off session, we do have our webinars that are Wednesdays and that are scheduled, or Thursdays scheduled out here, and you can see some of those. So I'm going to thank everybody for joining our recording. I'm going to go ahead and get our recording stopped.